Wellington's t-shirt. Now, see, this is beautiful right here. Hi.
Yeah,
So we got revved up watching Norm's stream talking about board games, and we wanted to do it,
I know.
but only for a short time because I got to get somewhere.
Yeah, Matt's gotta go eat
I
cake.
got my Walden books, not Waddington's. My Walden book. This is where I used to. 90% of this shelf came from this store, probably. Not 90, 70. A good bit. All the Bantam era stuff. I'll just say that. So half this, 50%. That's a safe one.
I'm guessing that's a local bookstore that had all your expanded
Back
universe.
in the day, this was these were the mall bookstores.
Oh,
Was a Walden bookstore, B. Dalton, and I used to love. Well, I still most of my bookmarks are Walden bookmarks. I only have like just a handful that didn't come from Walden, but I still use them today because bookmarks last forever, forever.
it's like a playing card.
So there were two more games that I forgot to mention to Bernardo. I've talked about it now. That I really, and I forgot to start pulling them up, that I also would like to try out. And of course, they're Queen games. It has got to be. It's got to be.
And I got one of the ones that I had on my list, so I'm going to show that off while you're looking.
Okay, so I'm going to show off. What is that?
This is a mini I painted from Cthulhu Wars. He's a windwalker. Yo, this dude's brutal.
That looks awesome.
Yeah,
All right,
I love this game.
Share the screen. Can you see the screen?
I cannot.
Oh, rats. Oh, because I got to hit share, probably. There we go. Okay.
Boom.
So there's Cairo. It's by, oh, I thought it was by Dirk Hen. What is that? Oh, I don't know. That's not Dirk Hen. Okay. Basically, you're setting up little stalls in the areas there. And let me see if I can blow that up. Yeah. And so you're trying to set up stalls. You're playing cards or tiles to move stalls. And you're trying to get these people, these little meeples. Those aren't the players. Those are just the customers. And you're trying to get them to run by your stall. And again, probably want to play this before I pay for it. But it looks like your average Queen game, you know, simple to understand, fun, some strategy in there. Queen game is all about midweight games.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is It Happens. This is from Stefan Feld, who I do enjoy. But this is just like a little dice chucking game where you're an ant. An anteater trying to get ants. I don't know. I think the theme's kind of crazy.
That's hilarious.
But that's what it is, and it's very simple and kind of kiddie. I don't know. Is this Queen? You know, Queen has some kid games. Is this a Queen kid game? No, it says Queen.
They have a Queen's game that I want that's never been released in the U.S.
Huh.
I had wanted it for a long time, and I still can't find it on like eBay for sale. Let me get you the name. Oh, I found it. Oh, no, that's not it.
What'd you find?
It is.
I'll tell you, there's a hobby game that I'm slightly interested in, but it costs. There's only one copy. It costs too much on eBay. Star of Bethlehem. 1 billion wooden pieces for this game. It's an old hobby game. I have no idea what it's about.
I've not heard of that one. This Queen game is like a balancing game. It was like when I reached out to them at their booth at I believe it was at Gen Con, they had mentioned that the game was a part of their kids line since those do better at Germany. So they never brought it over. It's called, here it is. It's called Ball ver Wackel.
Okay, is that the one with the you're balancing a lion on a landing or something?
You're balancing different animals and like you can readjust. Like it's really cool. It is a balancing game, but it's a smarter balancing game. As weird as that sounds.
Well, you showed me that one, I think.
It's one I wanted for a while. It's not like I'm gonna jump at it when I see it immediately, kind of thing. Because God knows I got enough games that I've been jumping at, but I'm surprisingly gonna be done for a while now that I got this baby right here. This is all I needed, guys. It's a good feeling.
Oh man, I know you've been waiting to get that.
Dude, I've wanted it since I saw Board Game Barrage talking about it on their channel, how funny it was. And like I spent so much time painting these things too. Like, look at this dude, yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you paint that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
That looks incredible. Holy cow. If it looks like that, then I'd get the game.
Yeah, I took a couple days off to paint these things.
So just to let everyone know, I did hear from Luke from down from the attic just now.
Woo.
You know, yeah. He said he won't come on because Bernardo's here, so oh well.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
He's
and Mark reached out, said he couldn't get on because Matt was on. So
hey, Snoopy said there's one game he wants to buy, but it's very pricey. Yeah, if we all had money like Bernardo, we could be dropping big pounds of cash to get games like that. But I'm with you. Now, to be honest, I think the minis are amazing, but I'm not a Cthulhu guy. I'm not into. I have one Cthulhu game because it's a spinoff of zombies. But other than that, I'm not into the Cthulhu mythos. But I think the minis are amazing. I agree with you.
So, I can't say I'm like a big fan of Cthulhu. I don't really know a whole lot. I mean, I know a lot about H.P. Lovecraft. But
I'm familiar with him. I'm familiar with the mythos about him.
Yeah.
And he wanted it public domain for it to spread. And it has. I mean, it's very popular. Board games, RPGs, everyone loves H.P. Lovecraft. And there's tons of H.P. Lovecraft out there because it's all public domain. So
yeah, and the thing too was I wanted an area control game that was different, easy to teach, and actually added a little bit more. Like Risk, to me, I don't enjoy playing that game. It's not a game for me anymore. And there's a lot of dudes on a map game that's like overly strategic. I'm not trying to have something too complicated. Something about how this game is described, how quickly it can play. I was kind of messing around with myself just to get an idea how I'm going to be able to teach it when I get to that point next weekend, I believe. But it's surprisingly really easy, and something about slapping a mini twice the size is just so funny to me.
Oh man, well, I mean, my old Project Elite game, those big yellow monsters, man, those pieces are that big, and your pawn is that big.
Yeah.
It feels great moving this big block piece on the board.
It's like a panic.
There's only 3 pieces like that in the old version of the game, and you freak out. If we get, I can't remember what they're called right now, an Uber monster or whatever. If you get one of those, a mega monster, you're dead, man. Game over. Like I said, there's only been one person I know who has destroyed all 3 mega monsters, and that was my wife. She does. I mean, she didn't play the new version. I asked her to. I said, look, we played the first one together. We loved it. And she looked at the game. She went, I don't know. I was like, it's the same game, just a little. It's better though, you know. But she didn't want to play it, so I have to keep the old version around just in case she wants to play the old version with me. But she was the one who didn't. She wasn't scared. She just went up to the yellow monsters and just kept pounding, and she eventually took them down. I helped her on one, but she got the kill shot on it. But we've had some intense games with that, but
that's the one. Sadly, I still got to get to the table. Y'all so pumped for it.
You still haven't played Project Elite? What is going on? Hey, Marvel United, I think, is going to come out with another Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's what
they're doing. They're doing X-Men expansions now.
I don't know. I've been seeing pictures.
That was the rumor I heard. They're going to do, and I'm sure they're going to do Fantastic Four if they haven't already. I think they're going to do a lot more, but I'm going to jump in on that one.
That the chibi ones, right? The little chibi ones?
Yeah, the little cheap kitty-looking ones. The base game's out now. I want the whole set. I almost bought someone's pledge, and then I paused and went, wait a minute. I checked the news, and sure enough, there's going to come out another one later on this year. I was like, okay, I'll wait for that and get that whole bundle. But that game looks pretty solid. I wish it was a DC game because I'm more of a DC guy.
Me too. I like DC better than Marvel.
Oh, I love it a lot more. So if it was Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder, all these boom, you got me. You got me. Same game. Call it DC United, which is a copyright because I think that is the Washington DC soccer team, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't it DC United? I think that's the professional team out in your neck of the woods.
That's hilarious.
Okay, here we go. All right, here's what you do. You find a southern state where your neighbors won't rat on you, and you throw their board game parties, man. I got one coming up. Come on, Snoopy. Come on down, brother. Yeah. I wish teleportation existed. I'd have you and Bernardo and a drunk Luke all at my house right now.
He'd give us COVID all the same day. Literally the same
day. Yeah, Snoopy, I was just telling him, there's been times my board game group fluctuates, right? Sometimes I'm barely holding on to just a little bit of group. Then sometimes I got 2 groups. I am filled with blessings right now. I have 3 game groups right now. 3 different gamer groups. I try to keep my gamer groups at a 4, so me plus 3 others. So technically I have 9 gamers right now. And that's not too bad of a lie because I think I could have a 4th one. I'm almost positive. Because they come over a couple of times. They're not regulars because they're high school or they're seniors in high school, I think, and they have night jobs. They're bus boys at a restaurant.
Matt's handing out flyers in schools now to get games.
And so it's hard. Well, no, what happened is they did a show with me. The last show I directed, I got high school kids, and they heard about. Well, one, he's been in a show with me before, and we were playing board games a long time ago. I bonded with that little dude. He's a cool guy, man. He's the Robin to my Batman. He's just a fun dude. Well, he's the one that keeps saying, "Hey, we got to go to you guys. You got to go see Matt. Matt's got all these board games." Like for his birthday, he wanted me to bring a few board games.
Nice.
He's enthralled with them, and so he got another buddy of his, which seems to be interested. It's just that they're working most nights, bussing tables. So I can't say, hey, give up some money because I know when you're that age, you need any kind of money you can get. So, but there's a few people from that show that wanted to come over, and a few have, but it hasn't been regular. My regulars are coming in. So here you go. I have not. Oh, you live in North Carolina. Yeah, you're gonna be a little late. I'll wait up for you. We'll throw one the next night. How's that? Hey, so have I played Horrified? No, but this man has, and he loves the game. He friggin' loves the game.
It's a great game. Probably right at the time I did my Halloween video, it was my favorite Halloween themed board game, horror themed board game. But things have changed now. But it is an excellent game. It's like having 6 games in one. You got each combination of villains that you choose, because you don't play with all of them, creates different scenarios for the game, like different levels of difficulty with different ones. It's an excellent game. Excellent game. But Matt didn't tell you the real secret. So here's what you do. When there's a storm in your area, you take out all the power lines. Make sure yours is the only one standing, so they got to come to your place, and then you make them all play board games.
There you go. Hey, Edward, guess what? My wife picked it up today. She couldn't help it. That reprint at Target or wherever it is, she finally bought it. She's so excited. We're splitting up. She just took the girls to go to one birthday party. I'm going to another one. And well, my family has a birthday, her family has a birthday, so we just split like that. And so hello, Johnny. Yeah, we thought, but what happened? Wicked Awesome Board.
Johnny Sins.
We
Oh
got
no.
bored. We got bored. Norm wasn't giving us entertainment. He wasn't singing and dancing. So we started. I'll be honest. Here's what happened during Norm's stream. I just called Bernard and we started talking. And then,
He texted me. He's like, "Yo, by the way, Norm's doing Waddingtons." I was like, "All right, let me look."
Yeah, I texted him. But anyway, where was I? Oh, no. So I gotta go there. Well, her family is now getting into board games, but just easy ones, vintage games. And that's great for me because right now I was just telling Bernardo this. My nephews, who I usually always play with, this year there's very few vintage. They're getting too old for them. And there's a newer batch coming in of a nephew and a niece who are, what's first grade? 6?
You're asking the wrong. I don't even know when babies
I don't know.
walk. Apparently
They're the 5-6 range now, and so we're playing some generic ones with them. I'm going to start playing more with them because I do have some, vintage games. There are a lot of vintage games, and I love them, but they're kind of like, luck of the roll, right? And you have a few things. I'm trying to think of a game like, oh, well, you look at American Dream, depending on where you roll. And that does depend on, that's probably a little too advanced for them. Magic Maze. Magic Maze isn't hard. That'd be a fun game for a kid to pick up. Dungeon Dice. They know how to throw dice.
Tornado Rex.
Crocodile Hunter. They know how to flip over a card and move and press the thing. So there's a lot of these games that they can play. And so we're going to start playing games together. Now, my youngest nephew, he's still on board with a vintage game. He's on board with anything. But her family, vintage games. They think everything else is too hard. So we'll play vintage games. In fact, they had one night we played a few vintage games. It was fun. And yes, if I was going over there, she brought party games. I played Say Anything for the first time in 4 years. That's the only party game I enjoy. The only party game I enjoy. Now, someone in the chat, was there another party game I had years ago? My wife swears there was, but I don't remember.
Category.
No, it wasn't Category. She said it was like Say Anything, but she was mad because I traded it or gave it away or something. I can't remember what it was, but I don't remember having another party game. Anyway, though, I still enjoy Say Anything. It's a fun one. We had a good time with it. And you just laugh because it's some inside jokes, that you put in there too. I do want to play. And now some of these vintage games, I am going to try to get to the table with my adult game group. Like I'm thinking a long time ago, I used to have this. I used to have one night set aside a long time ago for just vintage games. It was a vintage game night. Dude, we play 15 games in one night because, the games.
That's how it is.
And so you play 10, 15 games in one night. It was great. And so I used to do that every once in a while. And everyone loved it. Everyone had a fun time. But then I just had too many regular games coming in that I had to get to the table to review. And I just pushed that away. But I'm thinking that I may start doing that again because I'm almost positive most of my group would love it. Like something like Ask Xander, that has to come out to my adult game group. I think that's going to be a smash hit.
I want it on a coffee table so when people walk in the house, they can ask them whatever they want.
There you go.
Sister got horrified for me on birthday in January. Yeah, it is. Jumanji.
Well, you know what? This guy, again, has a nice Jumanji board.
Yeah, I got mine. I got mine made. Mine is made out of wood. It's really nice, magnetic pieces. I'm changing it to have a digital screen to play. It's really nice.
Bernardo, and I regret that I couldn't pick it up in time because I do agree. Bernardo is talking to me about some old horror games, and there was one that was a decent price, but it was hitting right when all the bills for me were hitting in, and I couldn't take the risk. But I definitely regret it.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a horror and he hasn't heard of Horror House, check that out.
Tornado Rex just landed outside my top 50, which was blasphemy to him and Luke, because y'all both listed in your top 10, right?
Yeah, 1 or
it
2.
Was like
Mine
number
was
3, 1, number 2, right?
Mine was 1, his was 2.
Yeah. I mean, so, and the thing is, that game for me, the game used to be played all the time with my nephews. My wife and I played it, and she's like, next. And I was like, okay. So I guess, I don't know, maybe the experience wasn't there. It's not that she hated it, But, you know, I had to play a lot of the vintage games with my wife last year because no one else would play with me. So, but like I said, I think I have an avenue to break out and get more people playing vintage
It's all
games.
about the experience. I mean, I'll never forget laughing. I mean, like I said, we played it for 24 hours straight one day. Like that is crazy.
Yeah, thanks, Luca. I wouldn't say that I'm friends with Luke though. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love Luke. I love Luke to death. I just don't like Bernardo. No, I'm friends with
hair.
him.
This is evil Matt. This isn't real Matt. Don't listen.
Yeah, Vinny, the insane board gamer. I'm friends with him. I'm friends with Jamie. In fact, Jamie got an invite because I thought he was going to be here. He got an invite to be on the show. Board game man. I'll be honest.
Hey, I didn't even know you sent one. I would have messaged him. I forgot.
Oh, message Jamie. Yeah, if he wants to come on, only for a few minutes though. But the thing is though, and Norm, I'm friends with Norm too. If you do vintage board games, I may find you like Mark, the new guy, but the new guy I discovered this summer last summer thanks to Bernardo. Bernardo's like, yo, have you seen this guy doing vintage? I was like, no, because I stopped looking for vintage game reviews because there's only so many. We're friends with the retro board gamer from Dice Tower. He's really nice. Dude. I really want to get him back on.
I know. I miss him, man.
Astrovault, man, I miss that dude. He made me laugh. He's a great guy.
Great. He's awesome.
And but I do want to talk to Mark too from Attic Raiders. And all these people, they have a love for vintage games. I love vintage games. Of course, I love regular board games too. But there needs to stay that appreciation for those board games. And I'm trying to get more vintage games. I still don't know if I'm going to do. You know, I said 2 years ago I wouldn't do another vintage top 100 because I said I don't know if I'll be getting that many. Well, already I've gotten 1, 2 vintage games and possibly a third one rolling in here before too long. No, I've gotten 3 new ones and possibly a fourth. Oh no, there will be a fourth one. I just purchased one, and then a fifth one, maybe too. So I am getting up. And the only thing with me is unless I buy like 20 maybe games, then there's no point in doing a top 100. I mean, it'll be the same game shuffled around. It may still be fun. Yeah, but I'll be honest, it was incredibly fun to do it with Bernardo and Luke. It was just to see our different tastes and, you know, who had what game. There's one game I forgot about that I really forgot to put on my wife. My wife got me Bewitched, but I forgot to put down Up the Ladder. I could have kicked myself. I was like, because I was rewatching those videos of ours. You got Rise of the Tribes. I have not played it. Have you played it?
No, I've seen it. I know what it looks like, but I've never played it.
Are you invited for board game night? Absolutely. Come on. Anytime.
Man, you're going to say this one day. There's literally going to be a bunch of cars outside your house, and they're going to be like, yo, we're here, yeah. They just go to your town, and they're like, oh, the guy with the board games, he lives here.
Yeah. Yeah, the board game, yeah, man, the community of board gamers is just great. It's an awesome community that like to help each other out, like to talk to one another. And I agree. Plus, I will say this: most publishers are super great with their fans, like for getting replacement pieces and stuff like that. But I will say this: I remember when I did my review a long time ago when my top whatever 200 was coming out, and I complained that my Palaces of Carrara game it dropped a lot because it's got a bad replacement piece in there. It's got a cube instead of a brick, and I can't find any bricks for the game, and so I have to make a special rule where only I can dig in the bag because everyone else digs in the bag. They look for the cubes because the white is the most, is the greatest one to have, and so they know what they are because they're cubes. I said we can't do this anymore. Well, then someone showed me a website where you can get a full replacement piece for Palaces of Carrara. I ordered that November 14th. Still not in. I ordered a mini expansion for Marco Polo overseas in November. Still didn't come in. I ordered what do I really want? Oh, in Germany, I got a Queenie for Templar, the Secret Treasures, a Queen game. It's the last Queenie that I don't have, and it sounds awesome. And I cannot wait. In fact, that game has been on my top list of want to play right now, but I keep pushing it away because I'm waiting for that daggum Queenie to come in because I want to play with it. I'll be honest, if that Queenie's good, that game's going to rock it up. Because the Queenies make that game great. It's like Neptune. Neptune never would have been in my top 100 if it hadn't been for the Queenies. It would be, I mean, it's in my collection.
Jamie said he would rather run errands in the rain than be on stream with you, Matt.
Boy, what a jerk. What a jerk Board Game Man is.
You got Seance on my list of games I'm after. Yo, thanks. No, the game is so unique. It is so unique, but I will be honest, if there's a record game I'd play more, it's either Horror House or Voice of the Mummy, but that is such a cool game to own. I will be playing it every year, I will say that, because it's so cool not to play it. This is awesome. Anyone play The Crypt Keeper? It was on my list. It looks cool. I'm a big fan of Tales from the Crypt and anything the Crypt Keeper is attached to, like Creepshow, things like that. But it's not on my list because I know the rules. I have a friend who's played it, kind of went over how the game played. It's not high on my list, but it does look cool, and it is something I'll eventually own.
Played Up the Ladder last week. Whoa, Up the Ladder? How'd you get that game?
Yeah, Jesse got a good collection.
I don't know who he's asking this, so hey, Rory.
Yeah, Hero and
hey, man. What's going on, Rory? What's going on, dude?
Hey, Rory.
You know what, Rory? You can always come on the stream. I can bump this doofus.
Yeah, we can change the name of Matt Wilkins' channel. We got
it. Look at this.
I did magic tricks for a living. Can do board game nights and magic tricks. Man, I'm a professional magician. It's like you read my mind, Jesse.
Tell you. Oh!
We're in a global pandemic. No.
It's my good friend Tom. Tom, who I'm going to see next month.
I like Tom's icon.
Yeah, that's his podcast, Saga of Steve Rogers, rated R, maybe X.
Saga of Steve. Yo, is his name? His name's not Steve Rogers. Who's Steve Rogers?
No, but that's the AKA name he goes by when he's out in public. Like when he orders a sandwich at Subway or something, and they ask for his name, he goes Steve. And if they ask for a last name, he goes Rogers.
That's
he does it, man, too, man. He's great. He's awesome. Oh man, I agree. Yeah, that's a hard one.
It is.
You know what,
I'm
Snoopy?
selling one of mine soon. But
a long time ago, I remember talking about this when it was just me and Norm. I said, Norm, we should get that retro board gamer and do a vintage board game breakfast. But then what are you going to talk about besides just do a little vignette of different vintage games? And nothing new coming out. Now you have restoration games. Now you have a few other things you can talk about. Because in my opinion, my definition of a vintage game is something that for Bernardo has been out of print. And then for me, it's like 15 years or older. And reprints count. You know, but the thing is, though, you're right. The definition of those, you could probably do a show like that. It's just putting it all together and having the time, which right now I don't, but I'd love to do that.
We got to all do it while eating a bowl of cereal. We got to do it while we got to talk with our mouth full. Got to make it a real board game breakfast.
Up the Ladder is a blast.
Yeah, we've been working on different rules, me and Luke, because we've definitely seen some areas where there's a lot of changes it can make. And I'm pretty happy with where it's at now. So I'll eventually, as long as it ends up nothing else I change, I'll do another video about alternate rules for it to make it better.
Let me answer this question. The Sabacc game for the Han Solo movie is good. Is good. The only thing I don't like are those little, and I think I said the credit chits you're trying to win. I don't like that, but the deck of cards is really awesome. The dice really awesome. I wish they could all put it in one holder. Because throw away the box. It's totally pointless. The box is the worst insert ever. It's this big bulky box for something that honestly, this little. They could have cut that box into a quarter of what it is. It's a waste of space.
I want to own the box.
Say what? I chunked the box. But you can get that game if you have an Ollie's discount store. The game is like $5. And for $5, a nice deck of cards.
Fun enough.
And I've gotten to play Sabacc. That's why it went up on my rank this year, because I got to play this newer version. I have the old West End Games RPG version, So, but it's a fun one. It's worth getting. The back's on. There you go.
I'm considering gluing mine too. I don't know why they're removable.
Yeah. All right. So I have to cut this short because I got to get to a party. And Bernardo, are you doing game night tonight?
Am I tonight? No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm going to be editing and painting.
Okay. Do we get a preview of what's coming out? What's coming out next on Tabletop Island?
Immediately what's coming out, it's going to be Gremlins. Then we got Dynamite Ridge and a whole bunch of others popping up right after that you'll see.
And I'm trying to remember what I'm doing next. I already did Lost Patrol, right? Yeah.
You hitting me with that expansion I've been waiting for?
Twilight Imperium 4 will be next week.
Heck
the expansion. I will talk about that next week. I've already got it reviewed and everything. It's awesome. Just spoilers there. It's awesome. Also, as I do a little Mr. Rogers and put on my sweater, it's such a good feeling to know you're alive. As I'm saying goodbye here. I am having board game night. Tonight's special Al will be, read off that list here. It's all newer games. Cupcake Empire, Vienna, Helios. I may play Sultania, but my buddy he brought me Time Stories by Space Cowboys. I generally like a lot of Space Cowboy games. Time Stories isn't my cup of tea. It's a legacy game, but he gave it to me like 8 months ago to learn, or 6 months ago, and I haven't gotten onto that. So we will be playing that tonight. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, hey, thanks for joining, Bernardo.
Yeah.
And everyone, thanks for joining on this very brief live stream. But we'll see you later. Give this guy some love. Give him some subs. He needs help. His hair looks terrible, not like mine, which is all beautiful.